had been decided at the start of the Buchanites' flight from Irvine that all their goods and monies would be held in common. As the end was nigh, there didn't seem to be a lot of point to possessions for them, apart from those that met basic needs. John Gibson, who'd been a merchant in Irvine, was put in charge of their collective funds. They caused a stir when people discovered they were camping here in Cricket Lynn, but Mr. Davidson of New Cample Farm offered them first a barn, then a plot of land to build their own place. He was more than happy to help them, as they had agreed to work on his farm for free. There was no point in taking a wage when Armageddon was so close at hand. Now, starting in the barn but continuing in the loft of their communal home, Buchan, the Buchanites slept in a large communal space on heather beds, men, women and children all together in what was described at the time as promiscuous sleeping arrangements. This undoubtedly is where the persistent rumours of infanticide that dogged them originally sprang from. The Buchanites themselves professed to be beyond such bodily distractions, but outsiders picked up on their two main facets of their philosophy to back up their theories. Firstly, the idea that Elspeth told their followers that they could not commit sin was interpreted to mean that they could do as they pleased. And secondly, the Buchanites believed that children were born without souls. This surely made it easy for an act of infanticide to be carried out. The final major piece of evidence people cited was the distinct lack of new children ever born in the commune. Only one member was ever actually expelled for getting pregnant. Apart from that, there was only one other notable pregnancy, but we'll come back to that in a moment. The Buchanites settled down to await the apocalypse, and Elspeth instituted some other rules for their congregation. Marriage was considered pointless, and so the women reverted to their maiden names. Their children were considered to be held in common as well as their property, and so they were actually given to new primary carers. Their parents were expected not to give them any special or familial treatment, and apparently the youngest of them quickly forgot who their parents were. At first, people came to see this strange commune at New Cample, and Elspeth spoke openly of her prophecies and beliefs, hoping to recruit new followers. And while some new people did join them over their years at Closeburn, it was not through these speeches to their visitors. After the initial flush of visitors, locals became less curious and more hostile towards them, something which led directly to one of the most infamous events in Buchanite history: the midnight manifestation and the attempt to fly from the top of Templand Hill.